Good day. Today I will be showing and explaining to you this simple algorithm Java code. So let's start. First, we imported this scanner so we can input some data later. So this is our class. The class holds all our method for this code. So for our first method, this is the which is the bubble sort is here. So int int n is equals to our array length. That means that our int n will be the one that stores the length of our array. So next is this for loop. So this line of code iterates loop through the array. So first is we declare that int I is equals to 0. That means that our first array our array will start at 0. So for the next our next command is here. As you can see, int I is less than the int n minus 1. After that, we increment the int I. So in the next line, this is the inner loop. This line is inner loop that compares the next element to each other. So as you can see here, int j is declared as 0. So next is our int j is less than n minus I minus 1. After that, we increment the integer g. So jumping to the next line of code is the if statement, as you can see here. So if the current element, that means the array g, is is greater than the array. So next line is the if statement. So if the current element is greater than the next element, a swap is performed. If that means if the array g is greater than the array g plus 1, then they will swap. So this will be the holder of our temporary variable and during the swap. So proceeding to the next line, as you can see here, the current element. So the current element of j is replaced with the next element. So which means the value of array j is equals. It will be replaced with the array j plus 1. Then in the next code, we declare that array j plus 1 temporary will be our temporary variable. Then after that, the loop will iterate from start again. So here it will start again here until the array is sorted. That's all for the bubble sort method. So proceeding to the next method, which is the insertion sort. So as you can see here, this is the method. Again, int n will be the one stored our array length. So we have here four statement. So here, so here for the insertion sort, um, here we and we can see that the array will start at the index 0. As you can see here, int I equals to 1. That means the array will start at the index 1. And so after that, I is less than n. Then increments I. So then the next code, which is so the use of this line is that the current element to be inserted is stored in this k here. And after the next line is this int j equals I minus 1. So so in our integer j we'll start the we'll start the, we'll start in the position before the our end I, since we can see that this is I minus 1. So after that we have this while statement, while you can see here. So I'll explain it to you line by line. Right. So let's start this while. This loop swaps element that is larger than the k. The, the element that is swapped is moved to the right side. So swapping is done. And that we can see that the array j plus 1 is equals to array j. So that means so next line is array j plus 1 equals to array j. That means the element of j is moved to the position to the right. So after that, j is decremented. You can see here. So finally, k is replaced in the correct position. As you can see here. In insertion sort, there won't after this k is in the right position, the loop won't the loop will stop. The element is sorted ascending, so that means it is arranged. Selection sort method. This one. So again, int stores the length of our array. You can see here. After that, we have for uh, same statement, for equal integer I equals to index 0. So after that, integer I is less than n minus 1. Then incremented integer I. In this next line, so int min index is for storing the minimum is for the minimum element, storing the minimum element. After that, we have this again. We declared here that in j plus 1, check, then j is greater than n and incremented j. So if array j is less than the array minimum index, here, let's call this minimum index. So it will be easier to understand. Then the the minimum index will become our integer g. As you can see here, a swap will be performed between the found minimum element and the current position. So here you can see here that our integer temporary will be swapped with the minimum index, and then our array minimum index will the minimum index will be placed in the right position. So so well, the next element will be the current position that holds the minimum value. Check. Then it iterates again. It iterates again here. Balik siya sa diri. It switch. I-swap na pud niya ang kuan kaning temporary temp nato to the min index after he found the minimum index, then swap again. Then our minimum index will be the current minimum value, and then it iterates again is completely until it's complete. Next we have the print array method. This statement enhance the loop the loop iteration through the each element. So after that, then print it prints it prints our value, think, then a space. After that, we print a blank line. Then let's proceed to the main method. We declared here a new scanners. We can put we can input some data later. This line is just for display. To prompt the user and to guide the user, I mean, it guides the user what he should input. Then this line enables us to input and the data. So for this line, integer array is initialized the same length. As you can see here, int r is the new new input length. After that is this. We declare that int I is equals to 0 and I is less than the input length, then increments I. So array I is after that array I mean equals integer parse int means that each string is parsed and stored in the integer array. So we have here our this is for the ano, for displaying our menu system out print. Later on you will see that. So after that we declare that int choice equals the scanner next int. Ayan na. So after that we have the use of this is that if the user inputs the choice one, then they will go into the case one, which it will call the bubble sort method, which is the first one I mentioned here. This one will go back here, call this method, then proceeding. If after that, it will print the sorted array using bubble sort. That is the print line, and breaks the case one. If the user type number two, which is the insertion array, it will call the method insertion. And here, as I mentioned earlier. If the user inputted the number 3 in the menu, which is the selection sort, again it will call on the selection sort method, which is this, and perform this. After that, the break. If the user inputted an invalid choice, or for example, the user inputted number 4, which is not included in our switch case, then this default, this will show, which is printed invalid choice, then return. Returns, this return statement, ito ba ni? Ayun lang na. Basta, ano. Then after that, this line, which is print array. So it just prints the array. Then we have here scanner close to prevent any further leaks of data. So let's try running it. We are prompt to enter a list of numbers to be sorted here. So let's put we put a random number to be sorted. So let's try running it. So we are prompt here to an algorithm to be used. So let's try the bubble sort. Then the array is sorted. As you can see here, the array is sorted in ascending form. So that let's try insertion sort. So these three selection have the same output, but they is ang method sa ilang ang sorting algorithm, which is ang method sa pag-arrange sa iya is nagkalahi-lahi. So that